Hello, everyone. Welcome to Valpo Esports. Today we have an Overwatch match for you tonight. Valpo versus Carroll again. Uh, Joining me today is Chris Brown. He's going to be our play-by-play tonight. I'm going to be your color commentator. And what do we got going on today, Chris?
Well, we've got some interesting changes. We actually have a player change in the starting lineup, which did happen last time. The coach came in and played, but now we've subbed out one of the DPSs. So we all had Finn as one of our DPSs, and has now been subbed for Fall, who is someone who's on the sub team, and they're trying out new strategies, seeing how it works and how it flows, if it'll work any better, especially against someone we've already fought against a few times.
Alrighty, let's take a look at our map pool here. What we're playing tonight.
Oh yeah.
So starting off, we're going to have Route 66, Kings Row, and then Oasis.
Yeah, these are pretty interesting maps. Route 66 in particular as our first map is a little interesting because there's this first point on Route 66 where they have this high ground and they can retreat back into the corner where they have a ton of natural cover. So I think if Valpo on attack can get past that first point, it'll be good sailing from there, just because of how hard that choke point is. Kings Row is a favorite among our team. They love playing on Kings Row. They think it's a greatly balanced map, and they have a ton of fun always. And Oasis it's kind of actually divided in our team. There are some people who aren't really a fan of it, and some people who really, really love it. It kind of just depends on who they're playing and how they're playing.
Right, definitely. So, so they're going to be getting started in a few minutes. So, anyways, so we've seen Valpo. Valpo's record is currently 0-3, correct?
Right?
We don't know what
Correct.
Carroll's record is, but the what is we've talked about changes in the roster that need
Mm.
that were made and stuff. What are some things that Valpo needs to do, like in terms of
Well,
gameplay?
in terms of gameplay, I think a huge thing for them was communication. I think
Mm-hmm.
they talk about it every time there's practice. Every time they're like, "What do we need to improve on? What needs to change?" It's always just comes down to the mentality and the communication of the game. And they've been working on it. It's actually been working really well. They have been practicing so much and just like deciding on how they should communicate, what they should communicate and it's just you can hear it in their voices. They're becoming way more confident. The especially with one of the DPS, Dirty Wolf, has just used to not very communicate very well or at all sometimes, and now there's just this confidence about him where he can actually talk, call out things, and it's good because he's seeing everything. He's on the back lines often, so it's important that he can communicate, and it's great for the team that it's happening with everyone, but that's just a very important example.
Right, the team is growing a whole lot in terms of gameplay. I mean, we've seen it just from the beginning of placement to now. I mean, the we haven't had the win success that we did in placements, but
Right.
in terms of I mean, the first game was kind of step back, let's take a look at what needs to be done, and now they're trying to you know trying to fix what the issues may be.
Right, for sure. And they're narrowing it down, and even like important small changes, like they're learning how to play new characters, which
Hmm.
not only gives them the adaptability of those new characters, but an understanding of like the game sense as a whole. So it's really been good for them in these past few weeks.
Right, definitely. So if you want to follow any of the Valpo esports whole situation here, we've got the Twitch here, which is you're watching it right now, Valpo esports. We've also got the Twitter, which is at esports Valpo, and you know, and that's gonna have a lot of things. So it looks like we're gonna be entering the game here.
Okay.
So we're going to Route 66 here,
Mm-hmm.
of course.
As always.
So on this map specifically, what are Valpo's strengths and what are their weaknesses here? You're on the team more, so I don't know.
I am, yeah. Yeah, if you don't know, I am actually on the sub team for our Overwatch team, so I get a little insight. Strengths and weaknesses. It's honestly their focus. Whenever they might go a more dive comp with like a Winston and a Roadhog. Actually, we can see what it is right now. Oh no! Oh, they're on defense first. Sorry, I apologize. Basically aggression, dealing with aggression and dealing with people on their backline. If they can't focus down a person that's on their backline and get them, well, punish them for being in their backline fast enough, then it's over. They won't be able to win. And they'll just get completely rolled. So, but they've been working on that. Other than that, strengths here, I think definitely our current DPS are really, really good at getting picks off, important picks with healers and DPS and tank. Everything mainly comes down to how well they're able to talk to each other and actually, commit to these team fights and get the right, take opportunity to the right things. And as we are coming into this first team fight, in fact, you can see the enemy has taken a more dive comp. And sorry, I'm jumping around here a lot just to see what's happening. They're all staying grouped up in the middle. It looks like they're trying to get focus on these D.Va and this Tracer. Winston's in their backline now. Fall peels to go take care of him, get a little bit of damage off on him to at least scare him off, make sure he can't come back in. He's about half. They drop the immortality. They get the pick on the Winston and the Tracer. This is looking great for them because of that. When they can get those picks that are in their backline, that just helps them win the team fight. They lose a healer. They've got a Sombra in their backline, and it looks like Fall peels to go grab him. Immortal wins there. He gets out, going back towards the team, making sure he comes in from behind so he's not exposed. They do lose a tank. It looks again like Fall is just sitting in the middle of them. He's already got his ult, and he uses it, gets
jeez.
Amazing. He does get charged all the way out.
That was a good turnaround.
Yeah.
You saw, when the tank, one of their tanks went down, Valpo kind of struggled there, but then being able to go in with that Reaper ult and just taken over there.
Right, and that's their new DPS as well, which is really impressive. But that is a big thing because Fall used to be on the sub team, so I would play with them quite often. And that's the thing he specializes in, knowing when to use those ults and how they'll actually change fights. All right, and as they're just kind of holding them back, the other team is trying to regroup, but Dirty Wolf is just getting picks. Oh, that was good. That was really nice.
Oh,
that was good. Just right up there. Oh, looks like they got that Sombra in their backline. But here's something that's really important. Not everyone peels from it, but people go and look. All right, and as we're going into this next fight, that hammer down could be a win for this fight, and the EMP. But they're already getting picks. What's important here is that they remain calm as well. If they start panicking, getting frustrated with themselves, they won't play well. And see, even with those picks that those people got in the early fights, they still took it. They still ran it back because they're calm. They're communicating what needs to be happening, what's happening. They killed the Sombra. They killed the Zarya. And that just gives them the upper hand, and they capitalize on that.
Right, Valpo, playing on defense, Valpo tends to do pretty well on defense. I mean, that's usually,
That was, spectacular. I'm supposed to be talking about a team fight, but that was hardly a fight at all.
No,
but you're saying about their defense.
I was saying Valpo's defense, we typically do pretty well on defense in terms of everything. It's, yeah.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. And so as we get kind of into this next fight, I'm kind of watching to Dead Knight here and his Baptiste. His Baptiste is really good because he can take the high ground in the back and look out for people in his background. Another Earth Shatter from the enemy, and they get their tank and a DPS early on. This could be a hard fight. But then again, you get Fall with those game-changing ults. It's just spectacular to see him work with those. And they just keep the pressure on. They've only got 20 seconds. They've barely pushed the cart at all.
This is a very different Valpo team than we saw last time when they played Carroll.
Exactly.
And I mean literally and figuratively.
Yeah, exactly. Literally it is. And here we go into what could be the last team fight of this round. They've got the Sombra in their backline, but see, they call it and people look. That you can tell just from that their communication is way more on point than it has been in the past. And they're just holding them here. We're in overtime. Their ultimates, they've only got one ult, but it doesn't really matter because they're just holding.
we talked about it last week. The fact that, Valpo and Carroll kind of have a rivalry starting,
Right.
since placement matches. And, the fact that they're playing them tonight and, they played them twice in the regular season so far, or playing them twice now,
Right.
uh, you know, means I think we were correct on that one.
Yeah, exactly. And this was purely coincidence. As I do believe they've lost this fight because they were just pushed back. They nanoed the Rhine, and they didn't have anything they could to like defend against that. But yeah, like what you were saying, we fought them a lot. Yeah, that's not the only way I can describe it because we have just fought them quite a few times. All right, going into this next team fight, they immediately grab, but Garrett or Dawson gets hacked. Look at those kills though. That's it. It's fast. You can tell that they're focusing one person at a time, and when they're dead, they move on. They just think about that. So what? Real quick, what did you think about that match as a whole?
Yeah, so basically, I think that Valpo just having the aggressiveness to push them back away from the cart, not just keep them off of the cart, but to push them back away from the cart. We saw that quite a bit, uh, and I think that that's something that we didn't see even on defense, but especially offense. But like last time, it's just kind of the lack of of aggression. But that's what
Right.
I was looking for. I was looking for, are we getting those picks or are we just pushing them off? And they, we were getting those picks. The DPS were doing their jobs. The tanks were taking their hits that they needed to take. The team was working like they were supposed to do all the time, which is where you get that success.
Right, for sure. And kind of just like looking at what they have here, it's a dive comp. Just like they're going towards those more aggressive tactics so that they can actually, they can have that aggression that they need. They don't just want to be pushed back and kind of not push and not have calls. They're making plays and they're executing on them, which is great. And something really impressive here is Fall's Echo. We'll see it here in a minute, but his Echo is something else.
Have we seen Echo being played on stream at least?
Not
I
often.
don't
I
think we
don't really
have.
think. Yeah,
I think
Echo
this
is
is a
yeah, Echo's not super oftenly played. But as we get into this first fight, they take out both their DPS are gone now because of their more aggressive gameplay. They look at their backline and they just start taking them out. You can see Fall is diverting his attention to who is low, making sure he can get those picks. Reinhardt is booped off the map, and they've already got farther than Carroll had in their first push. And that Zarya's gone. And there it is. That's the first fight. It's so quick. They get those people in the back line, and the other team is done. Carroll's done because they can't come back from that very easily.
Something I realized is that we aren't hearing a lot of the same names that I when I called the last Carroll Valpo game, we kept saying, Immortal Wins and Grim
Right.
Reaper over and over saying that they got Valpo, they got someone on Valpo. And now we're hearing it from the other side. Now we're hearing
Right,
that
exactly.
it's a quick reversal of that, of just the types of, plays that are being
Yeah.
made.
I mean, for sure. And look how far up they've aggressed onto the enemy here. I mean, they're just like inside of the enemy team, keeping them pushed back so that they can continue their pushes. Sombra is pestering their backline, making sure they have to divert their attention from the main area. They're killing the DPS and tank really quickly. I mean, Reinhardt's already gone. Their Mercy is gone. They've taken out the Zarya, and I do think this is it. I don't think they can come back. There it is. That's the first game. Wow. That was something else.
Definitely.
And we see Fall as Reaper.
With the
One of
play.
these, I'm assuming, game-saving ults right there. All right.
Alrighty,
Alright.
so with that game, we definitely, have seen, with that game, we definitely saw a different Valpo than we saw play Carroll last time.
100%. It's it's almost like amazing to see like how fast they switch into a more aggressive play style that suits the people they're playing, and it suits their teammates more. They're adapting not only to like the other team, but also themselves and how they are playing as like a team.
Definitely. Now we've got we got Valpo with a map.
Yeah,
Valpo with
yeah,
a map.
exactly. And it looks like they're already ready for King's Row heading in here. Yeah,
Getting
their
right,
defense
getting right into it, huh?
getting right into it. They are just raring to go, match after match. They want to keep this momentum, and absolutely. But I do wholeheartedly believe we are going to see a Valpo win tonight. I think Kings Row is a great map for them, especially for their DPS. Uh, Dirty Wolf loves playing these long hauls and getting those picks from afar, where he can play safe but also just use his mechanics. His mechanics in the game are spectacular. So he loves using these long hallways to his advantage. And I'm sure we're going to see quite a bit of that tonight.
Definitely. And this is a Valpo map. This is
Oh,
this
yeah.
is a map that whenever Valpo plays this map, you know that they're pumped.
Yes, they're excited. You can hear it in the room whenever they're like, okay, let's go over to the maps for tonight. Number one, Kings Row, everyone's excited. Everyone's ready. Oh, we're going to see something interesting here tonight. I just looked. Dirt Wolf is playing Torbjorn. So Torbjorn for Dirty Wolf is really, really scary. It is a powerhouse. Here we go. All right, as we get into this first fight, we see them holding this corner, which is smart. It lets them get a little bit of ground, but they can hold near the payload. This aggressive Rhine, though. You see Fromputi with this just in there swinging. That's so good for Rhine plays. They lose a tank, and he misses a charge, but now he's in their backline. He might die here. All right, they're down 2 tanks, which can be really, really bad for them. Looks like they may just lose this first team fight.
Yeah, that's a big one. This is one of those ones. This is a map that you can't. The second you lose that team fight, you're gonna risk getting that point taken away.
Yeah, because it's so hard to get back in there with that choke point. All right, looks like we're coming into this.
No second chances when it comes to King's Row.
Exactly. Win or lose. All right, we're coming to the second team fight. Looks like they're holding him fairly far up into this choke corner. We got a Reaper teleporting in, but they already know he's there and are aware. They're calling it out. It looks like the tanks are getting low, though. Good immortality failed on their part. They used a lot of ults there. The enemy team and our team. And they keep pushing. This is kind of scary. They've gotten 2 team fights just out. What do you think about that one? I know it's kind of short.
Yeah, it was definitely a quick turnaround here in terms of Valpo getting losing 2 team fights, but right. I think this is definitely a map that Valpo likes to play, but and that can be a bad thing, especially with all the streams and stuff that we've had with Kings Row. I mean, you're watching Valpo play on this map a lot,
right. And looks like, oh, sorry, yeah, continue.
But yeah, so there's gonna be some looking at how Valpo plays on this map, so there's got to be some adaptation that goes on here.
For sure. Yeah, and what you're saying, it's just like this fight is fairly even. It looks like they're about to win, especially with those picks by our DPS. This is the first fight they've won, and I didn't talk much over it, but it was fairly even. There were a lot of back and forth with kills and damage and heals, so it was hard fought. But I think the switch to Soldier was really, really smart. It allows them to play more aggressively and in their lines, which helps fight the general tactics that Carroll has. All right, and we're coming into this fight. They're coming in stacked up, making sure but Valpo is pretty ready for it. They've almost got that Rhine shield down, and it's just about gone. We can see to Dead Knight is healing as Baptiste. His Baptiste is one of his stronger players. Oh, they use a grab, but ooh. That is a
That was a
strong
combo. That was a combo, if I've ever
That is
seen one.
That is like overkill combination, using a Coalescence, a Reaper Blossom, and a grab. That's just a lot. All right, heading into this last one, 4:30 left. We'll see if Valpo can hold it. You can see the aggressiveness coming from Carroll, though.
Definitely,
For sure.
We need to see some of that aggressive Valpo defense play that we saw last map.
But look at these early picks. You picked out both their healers, both their tanks, and that's it. And that's the team. Look how fast that was. See, that's the aggressiveness that Valpo needs to have. Just going right up in them and making sure they can't react.
You see, Valpo's getting aggressive now, and that's something that they've, struggled with in the last few games. And the fact that they're able to do that now, and maybe not consistently, maybe not definitely consistently, but maybe not constantly, it's still a big improvement from last time.
Absolutely. Yeah, and just looking at them go, they're watching out for the Swift It's coming from behind. They're not going to notice. But they've already won that team fight. It's almost a waste at this point because there's nothing that Junk can do on his own.
Got 3 minutes and 25 seconds left on the clock.
I do like their chances here, though. This is such a good point to hold, and if they can just keep this aggressive nature up and get those picks that they need, I think they have a really good chance. All right, coming into this fight, they're all just brawling in the middle here, taking a lot of damage, but the healers popping the Coalescence to make sure he can negate this damage. The enemy team has lost a tank already, and Valpo hasn't lost any, which gives them a significant advantage. Their Lucio is almost down. Oh my! What an ult, though.
Man.
Yeah, that.
You see, I think one of Valpo's biggest issues there was the they were able to get the advantage, but they weren't able to capitalize on it. There was a couple of like the Rhine push there, just kind of trying to get that pin that didn't fully land correctly. There was just a couple of things that didn't land correctly that they definitely pushed them out of that advantage.
Right, yeah. And that was a great shatter, gave them a good few picks. If they can capitalize on it, they can definitely win this fight. Look at that. Shatter from the enemy team. They still got both their tanks, so they do need to be careful here. Ooh, Carroll might have this if they can't get out quickly. They've docked the Immortality Field to see if they can just get a few picks off. They take down one of their heals, especially that Lucio's important, because that means they don't have that general heal. And they keep them back. As we can see, Famputi has switched to Wrecking Ball, which is a force to be reckoned with. Just disrupting the backlines. All right.
One might say reckoned with.
Yeah, exactly.
Out here with
they've got in this room right here. But yeah, it's just got to keep them back. Keep them on their heels. As long as they can, Carroll might push in, but if they could just return that force and in a greater form, they can win this 100%.
Definitely, with 1 minute left, especially just being able to keep them off the point.
We might see a soldier ult coming here in just a moment. Oh no, that could be game changing. They've lost a healer, one healer, a damage, and a tank, and now their other damage. Ooh, this might be it. Takes out that last healer. Yeah, I couldn't touch. All right. Round 1 to King's Row. With 47 seconds on the clock. They take it.
So Valpo is now on attack on offense. You know, we just got to see if they can have that aggressive, because Valpo had some aggression in this last game, in this last match, and they were able to really. This could have been an easy. If this was last game, this would have been an easy Carroll. Just
absolutely
win.
Carroll roll through.
This wouldn't be 47 seconds left. So, seeing Valpo being able to do those aggressive pushes on defense, I think that, with the advantage of being on offense, I think, it'll be interesting to see how Valpo adapts to, the role change in terms of where they are in this game.
And I do think, in all honesty, that Fall's playstyle definitely lends better to attack. It's very aggressive, and it's very get in, get out. Get in, maybe get a pick, but do some damage, annoy them, and leave. So I think seeing that here will be really, really important, especially with the Genji plays. Genji and Sombra. Ow, that hurts me. That's such a scary combination. I play Lucio, and I can't deal. All right, coming into this, it looks like Carroll's holding that same position that Valpo was. They get an early pick on Valpo's Ana. Could be game-changing, especially as they melt our Rhine as well. All right. Valpo might just need to back out of this one really quickly. Just back out and regroup. Go for a second push. It does seem that our Sombra is still in their back lines, or just transported out of there. Being chased by their Lucio for some reason. And their Junkrat. They were really going for that kill. But now the Lucio and Junkrat are behind our team, and they need to be careful for that. All right,
Definitely.
coming into this fight as well. Okay, yeah.
Definitely seeing some just kind of messy Overwatch with both of the teams in terms of not knowing what's going on in terms of placement of players.
Right. Oh, it looks like they're pushing him off the point, though, with this Coalescence. Is such a strong force to fight, and it's so scary when you see a Coalescence on the field. Carroll pushes back onto the point, but they lose their damage. We lost a tank. That could be detrimental for us. They beat to make sure that their other tanks stay alive. The Rhine was getting low. They wanted to save him so they could not get in with this push. Valpo couldn't.
Valpo usually plays this corner. Valpo usually plays this corner a lot better, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
But we've seen some good aggression out of this, though.
Right. They kill that Reinhardt right as he shatters, and the Reaper Blossom doesn't even take anybody. We see the Echo go for the Reaper, which is kind of funny. But they kill the Junk, so he can't capitalize on that. He can't come back. Going after the Lucio, he's just about got the Blossom. Uses it. Keep them off the point. Keep them on their back.
Wonderful.
They didn't quite capitalize on those kills, though. They're still pushed back. They died a few times. They lost a few people, but they're coming back in for it. They lose Foul, but they nano Rhine. This has been a long team fight just because of how often they've died and come back and died and come back. Some great picks. It looks like they might have the cap here. Yes, I think they do. All right. So that was interesting. What did you see there? Because I was kind of focused on Echo and what he was doing. So
basically what I was seeing was, Valpo was really trying to get them off of the point rather than trying to kill, instead of trying to get a bunch of eliminations. I think they were mainly just trying to get them off the point. You saw it, I mean, through eliminations, definitely, but you also saw, that Reaper ult and stuff, which was mainly meant to push people back, not necessarily get everyone, right. And just kind of using that strategy instead of the aggressive strategy of, getting everyone off the point because there's nobody there. So, right. And so I think that, that was kind of a last ditch effort, unfortunately. Right. But this part is... this part is usually this part is going pretty well. This part is usually when we see Valpo shine, especially in these choke points like this.
Right. They send out Bob to distract from this. Look at that. An amazing strategy there by Dirty Wolf, though. He sends out Bob to distract from the grab so they can't capitalize on it. And he gets a few picks with it. That was great. That was a beautiful push by them. They just were uncontested that entire time. And into the third area. That wasn't even really a team fight. They picked, Dirty Wolf picked the healers pretty early on, and it was kind of hard for them to go from there.
Yeah, definitely, and that's what Valpo has been needing to do this whole round.
Exactly. Nano the Rhine so he can just get behind this Coalescence. Moira can't keep up. And he's just doing damage out there. Even if he's low right now, he gets picked, but he just did damage and helped them push. Looks like they lose this. They're getting pushed back.
They should have gotten out of there way before then.
Yeah, absolutely. After that Rhine died, it was kind of hard to win there. But they've already got Coalescence again. And we're seeing Dirty Wolf in the back just trying to poke at them. Do some little damage. Hit them out. Make sure they're scared. The Reaper ults, and he takes out the ult from Fall, so kills the person he was imitating, which doesn't kill him, but does take him out of it. We see a Coalescence so that they can push this. Takes out their Zarya, and they get a pick on their healer, which that is a scary one. That's a scary one indeed. Battle Wolf X on healer. You're getting close here. 2 minutes and 40 seconds to spare. And look at that. Picks off the Reaper. They do lose both their healers, though. A dangerous place to be with no healers.
Jeez.
Wow. That was spectacular. That's the push right there.
That was it.
That's it. Okay, I just want to real quick talk about like that echo play.
Yeah. Oh man.
Paul knows
like
that
that
range
was
on that AoE.
that was like not even like that was there was
It
no
was just an ability.
there was no thought there. Like I mean there was thought on in terms of the
Yeah.
team, but like there was just it was like Valpo was struggling to push, and then all of a sudden everyone was dead and Valpo won the
They
round.
did it. Exactly. It's like they're losing it. It's like, oh, they lost both their healers. What are they gonna do now? They might as well just back out. And then it's always how it happened. They talk about that in the comms. They're like, hey, maybe we should peel out. And then Fall just gets 3 kills.
Yeah, and
It
it's
happens like that all the time.
the classic Valpo play.
Exactly. And I can hear it right now. Fall in the comms. Oh, what'd you say we should pull out? And then it's just like 3 kills right there. It's so crazy. And it's fun to see like just how they get these wins in these pools.
Definitely. So now Valpo's back on defense.
Right.
We need to see Valpo kind of fix some of their problems they had on defense. That
For sure.
Especially the aggression that they had, in the first map, they didn't have this time on defense, and even in their offense, they kind of struggled with their aggression.
Right. And as we're coming to this first fight, I do like seeing to Dead Knight on Brig right here, because that can play as a really offensive healer. Going in there, trying to get us Inspire, and just getting hits. Just annoying them. They already take out the Reaper, by the way. A great first pick. It basically makes them pull back.
Is this
and
the first?
both their DPS are just gone.
Is this the first time we've seen Hog tonight?
I do believe it is, at least on our team for sure, but kind of an interesting that we don't see very much Hog. Reaper just goes in there. Father Pyro's Reaper just kind of heads in and dies for it. He might have missed a charge and accidentally come in that far. They're still holding amazing picks from Fall once again. They need to get on that point, make sure they don't get any ticks on that.
Dirty Wolf just getting those picks.
It's amazing. And look at that. They res Fall. There's only 3 seconds left. Lucio touches because, of course, it's Lucio. He can just get in there. But they've got him off. That's it.
That's it.
Oh, Lucio touching again. But Brig. Oh, that's it. Who's touching? Oh my gosh. They're just holding. He rallies. They get that armor. They get that speed.
Oh,
the
man.
healing is consistent.
This isn't it.
Oh, but maybe it is.
But maybe, yeah.
It's just like that. There it is.
And that's it.
That's it. The hammer down doesn't get in there in time. Wow, that was just like constant fighting. There wasn't really a break in the team fights.
No, definitely not. When you get them, when you get those eliminations staggered enough, it becomes just a constant stream of just the next guys.
Exactly. It's like, oh, there's more people and they're kind of just trickling in. But it's just some things I want to point out. I really, really love To Dead Knight's Brig. He knows when to go in and try and trigger his Inspire. He can look at the back line and look for like Lucio's or Junks that he can take out. And he missed it But he did try and stun Reaper's ultimate, which is something he can do with Shield Dash. It just stops it altogether.
What
So it's very good to see with this aggressive strategy they're going for.
What about Dirty Wolf getting those picks?
Dirty Wolf is just amazing. And I know it's just like it's like constantly saying it, but his Ashe, just he can train on a single person and they die. And as we can see him going Reaper, not something you normally see, but his Reaper is so good because he can get in that backline, give our team information, and kill the squishies, and even melt the tanks a little bit. So for this more aggressive strategy, I can absolutely see it working.
Every time we cut to him, there's always almost, some red names on the bottom. There's always red names,
Exactly.
Eliminated this.
You see the red X in the middle, you got a headshot, boom, they're gone. All right. They're moving in. Holding the same corner, all they need to get is one tick on this one thing, and they win. And they have 2 minutes, 20 seconds to do it.
That's some good chances for Valpo here.
Yep. They do lose the Reaper, but they take... Look at these picks they're getting, though. They got DPS, and they're keeping them on their heels. Break the Rhine shield. Rhine is discorded, and they haven't lost anyone else. Take out Rhine, lose Echo, and take out a healer. This might be it right here. This will be hard.
I can see how pumped Valpo is.
I can absolutely see, and that's it. That's game. There it is.
That's it.
You can hear it in the room. I can hear, unfortunately, Catherine is in the room today. Famputi isn't in the room today, but I can hear the rest of the people clapping, high-fiving, giving each other fist bumps, because they know they were playing well today.
Most
and
definitely.
I do believe, per the rules, that was amazing. Like, I know it was the other team, but that was just a great combination of ultimates. All right. Yeah, amazing plays there. Do you want to point anything out in particular?
I mean, definitely Valpo being able to pick up that aggression that they that aggression that they needed to find that aggression again, and they definitely found it towards the end there, and that just the momentum of the team. I love watching this team's momentum. Like once they get it, they just push through, And I think that we've had a lot of issues with momentum, but now we're seeing actual momentum on the team and with these games, and I think that was great. So we go to map 3 no matter what.
Yeah. Right, exactly, for the rules. But yeah, the momentum you're talking about, it's their mentality. Once they feel confident in the way they're playing, they know they're playing well, it just stacks on itself. And it just lets them boost through the enemy team. Because you saw their attack was way more effective the second time around on King's Row. Because they knew the aggression was working. So, yeah, we're coming in here at Oasis, though. Interesting. I like control point maps for Valpo because it tests both of their abilities of, like, the offensive and defensive side.
Mm-hmm.
So I just find it very interesting.
Definitely.
And we're seeing Father Pyro's Sigma here. This is something I really like. I really like his Sigma. I think it's really good, and he kind of can play both that, sort of like a DPS and a tank, because he can actually output a lot of damage. All right, we're coming in. Prepare to attack. It looks like the first point. I can definitely hear like both cheers and groans from the team just because of the split on who likes this map. All right. Oh, they're going directly for Valpo. They're not going for the point. They just want to fight Valpo.
Jeez.
Here. That was a strong. Valpo is not ready for that. I can see it. But they're adapting to it.
Definitely.
They're taking it in stride. They might lose this just because of they've lost too many people. But that was an interesting play from Carroll, to say the least.
Very interesting. Very effective.
Very effective, for sure. And they get this cap early on. Dirty Wolf is just waiting. Oh, he gets hooked. They push out really far. Yeah, you can see this aggressiveness from Carroll. They're trying to counter. They kind of know that that's a sort of weakness for Valpo. But as they've experienced, Valpo's been working on it.
Right, but like we said, momentum is a big part of Valpo's success, and stifling that immediately is going to be a problem.
Right. They coalesce, trying to get in here. They get a pick on Tez, who is the Zarya, and they're just trying to get in here with that, making sure they can try and capitalize. You can see Dirty Wolf coming in from a different angle. Oh, that Blossom, though, it's so hard to fight if you don't have your shield out there. Yeah, and they lose the point. They switched off Sigma to Zarya, though. It's already at 50. This could be hard for Valpo. But I do believe they can take this. They lose Roadhog early to that hook.
Seems like Valpo didn't really know what was going on. Like, especially, I mean, we didn't either. You know, just kind of...
Yeah, it was like... That was shocking, that strategy. And, of course, we can only check Valpo's side right now. They take that out, which is big for them, because that has been pestering them this entire game. Just that Junkrat and any games, that's been hurting them a little bit. Dirty Wolf going for picks in the backline, but he just can't seem to get any. The team communication on Carroll's side seems effective, and they can pick him out in the backline. And lose a healer on this fight, and they're kind of just trickling in, which they need to be, because they need to get touches. They do take out their Junkrat, but it's kind of hard. They need to get in here. Switching to Lucio so that maybe they can touch faster. They might get this. No, they take out a healer.
Yeah, that's it.
It might be hard. He pops ult here. He gets one pick, but it might be hard for them here. Yeah, he gets hooked. They're still contesting, which is impressive.
Definitely, yeah.
Considering how many people they've lost. They take out Pez, but yeah, they lose the object here. They lose the objective. Yeah, that was a hard match.
Yeah, definitely. I think Valpo needs to be ready now for that. They need to regain their momentum. So they need to make sure that they don't lose that immediately like they did last time. And that was their biggest downfall. They were never able to regroup. And every time they did regroup, Carroll was already there, like right when they walked outside spawn. So
for sure,
they were able to build a wall there that they could, not let Valpo pass.
Exactly. Yeah, that was hard for them. As we see, a few character switches here. We've got now a Brig and a Soldier. So we'll see. They're trying to change it up, make sure Carroll isn't always ready, and also adapting their play style. And they're kind of confused. It looks like they're confused on where to push. Not everyone's going together. This could be bad for them. Yeah, they lose to Dead Knight early. They do get a pick on their Reaper, though. But now Father Pyro is just stuck there, alone. No one to help. They're on objective, but they've got almost no one there. And Carroll's grouped up already. So it's going to take some real plays to get out of this one.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
after that first one, they had to play a game of what's behind door number 1, which way was Carroll gonna go?
Exactly. They didn't quite know, so they tried to kind of counter that by going on odd way themselves, but they ended up splitting up because it doesn't sound like they were communicating that effectively, and that kind of ruined them. They couldn't all go the same direction, and then, I mean, it's pretty easy for 3 people to take out 1, so they did lose that. But now hopefully they can get their communication better and actually get a good push in here. They lose Soldier pretty early in that fight, but he can come out quickly. DPS if you lose them early in the fight, it is bad, but it's not unbeatable. Though 2 tanks might be a little bit of a struggle. It's just this aggression. They're reverting back to just being on their heels.
Yeah. Carroll's just being able to stay up with Valpo and, but, we see Dirty Wolf
Did you see that?
around.
That's kind of an interesting play. What he does is he barely touches the point to distract them, and then he comes in with an ult. He does lose it. It doesn't have much effect, but it did get them pushed back to the point.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of an interesting play there.
That was
kind
very
of
interesting, and that's the one, I that's the one thing I love about about this game is the psychological warfare of
right.
Overwatch.
Yes. Yeah, there is quite a bit of like, if I can just distract them back on point enough, then they'll have to peel back. There's nothing they can do.
Yeah, that's not in the gameplay rules. That's not in a any
Yeah.
that's something that you think of.
You won't see that in the tutorial.
Yeah.
All right, it looks like they're going left. They have rally. They pop it early so that they can get that and get on the point. And they've got ball now. They're going to take out this. They might take out these healers early on. So they got to be careful of that coming from above. They do take out that Junkrat and a tank. They lose Sombra. They might be able to win this fight. And it's going to take some doing, though. But I do like seeing Famputi on Wrecking Ball. It's just such a strong option, especially with a Mercy healing him.
I think one of the best moves was to put him on tank.
Yeah, absolutely. It was such a strong move. Ooh, that might be it for them, though. That is hard to beat when they just lose those healers so early. And then there it is. I don't think they can come back. So Carroll does take the final match.
Yeah, but Valpo had already gotten...
Valpo does win this?
Valpo already got the win.
Valpo did get the win, and I'm very excited for that.
Oh, yeah. So we got a 1-3. We got a 1. We got a dub.
Exactly. Yeah. So, I guess real quick, I do want to talk about a few things I saw in that. Kind of went quickly, and they didn't get any good pushes. So, that first push by Valpo was it was rough to watch because you can tell that even throughout all these like good communication moments they've had, just like that one, they weren't talking. They were talking over each other, is what I assume.
Yeah.
They were like, everyone go down mid, or no, everyone go left. And then people just did different things because they didn't know what to do. And it just all devolved, and they didn't get that first push they needed where they could hold Carroll back. And that's what they need to be able to do. So,
right. They get... Valpo gets into a bad position a lot in terms of like when they're able when the other team pushes them back to their spawn.
Mm-hmm.
Valpo doesn't have time to regroup. They usually don't regroup. They usually run and gun. Mm-hmm. And it kind of falls apart at that point. When that doesn't happen, Valpo plays really well, but I think it's one of those aggression problems that they pretty much solved in their first two games. But with that control point map, I don't know if it was just due to it was the third map, Valpo had already won, or if it was any of a number of other reasons. I mean, the goal was gotten already.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, it's a big thing. It's their mentality. I think is a big part of it. Where when they're winning, and they're excited, and they're like, "Yes, we can do it. Let's get it." And then when they're losing, they kind of devolve. They don't communicate as much. And if they're losing like really badly to things like that they're just getting rolled through, it's like they almost like lose the hope of like being able to win. So it's kind of hard for them to play when that happens. But one thing I did like to see, and I'd like to mention on that last point, whenever they were getting pushed back into their spawn, they had Dirty Wolf run and go just like cap that point a little bit. We talked about it when that happened.
Yeah.
That's something that never happened in those first games. So they're getting better about it. They're devising strategy that will work.
Right, and that's where Valpo is going to, and that's where any team is going to start differentiating themselves from, from being a team here that's good, because you can have as many grandmasters on your team as possible, but if you don't have that strategy, if you don't have that, solid, I'm going to do this thing and it's going to do something with somebody's mind, not necessarily with their character on the screen, and that's definitely something that, it's chess. It's a game of chess, Yeah,
basically, yeah. It's a lot of it is mentality and knowing not just like how your character works. You can be the best Lucio player in the world, but if you don't have like a good idea of how the enemy team will react to what you're doing, you can have the mechanics down, but you'll still lose because it's just like you don't have the extra thing. You're missing half the component of your character effectively.
Right, and Valpo, and as Valpo gets better in terms of, communication was great in the first 2 games, and like I said, I'm guessing the reason why the last game wasn't so successful was mainly because of high energy due to winning the game, and it's kind of anticlimactic in a sense. It's like we won the game, but we still have to play. It would be like play another quarter of football after you win the game. So it kind of so that's something that I think kind of happened in the last game. But I mean, it's good experience. It's good, whatnot. I mean, and Carroll's not messing around.
No, they aren't. They like this idea of the rivalry. We've actually talked to them a few times, like personally with their team, and looked at games together, and they're kind of liking the idea of like, man, we fought Valpo like 5 times now, and it's like we've done scrims with them, and it's kind of evolving to be this kind of sort of a rivalry.
Rivalry, yeah. You heard it here, folks.
Yeah, you heard it
10 years down the line, they're gonna be playing
the old battle buddies, right?
Somebody's gonna be playing a clip of us talking about the Carroll rivalry one day.
Right. Yeah, no, yeah, but overall, yeah, I'd like to, just as a general thing, great games. Both teams played well.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The aggression was great to see on both sides. I like that we fought a team that is more aggressive, so we can see how Valpo is progressing with that, and how they are getting better about thinking even when they're on the downhill. So definitely. I think it's great to see.
Right. Alrighty, so this is Valpo Esports. If you guys would like to see more Valpo Esports, you can follow the Twitch channel here. You can follow us on Twitter at Esports Valpo. Switched around for Twitter because, Twitter. And
Twitter.
It's a very weird social media platform, but follow us there. We got a lot of stuff out there. I'm trying to crank out content.
More content, yeah, for sure.
A little bit more. I'm trying to, get everything going here. But, thank you all for taking a look at Overwatch this week. Next week, as of right now, I believe we have Rocket League. Am I not mistaken?
Ew. Oh, it seems
I minimized you.
Oh, there I am.
There you are. I minimized you. That's fun.
Magic trick, folks. But
yeah.
We have Rocket League next week.
Yeah, Rocket League next week. This is what, week?
It'll be from week 5. Week 4 was today. Week 5.
We have Rocket League versus St. Ambrose.
Ooh, fun games.
It's gonna be interesting. All right, thank you all for watching. We will see you all next week. I'm Logan Osdick. I'm here with Chris Brown, and we're here to say good night.
Yep, have a good night all.